Hello, everyone. This is Software Journey with Learn to Code with me. And today I'm going to talk about why I believe altcoins are pretty spooky. Once again, this is not financial advice. This is my own personal opinion, but I would, run away from altcoins. So altcoins is defined by any coin that's not Bitcoin. And the reason being is that it really comes down to two simple reasons. Number one, generally speaking, at the end of the day, I feel that one or a select few companies generally take a large part of the market share for any given, field or for any given market. We can think of, let's say, for example, like social media with Facebook. We can think of, let's say, Amazon with the trade that they perform, the e-commerce. There's all these different markets, and generally speaking, there's always one or a few select companies that comprise the majority. And I believe that's true for cryptocurrency as well. I think that because Bitcoin was the first kind of established cryptocurrency or the most popular cryptocurrency, it's the one that's going to dominate in terms of demand. So perhaps financial institutions, all these different companies, they're going to be more willing to adopt and readily accept Bitcoin, whereas they may not be willing to accept these altcoins. So these smaller coins, that we have listed, there's no, how should I say, lack of altcoins anymore. They seem to keep kind of popping up. Now, I understand that some of them do have their merits with respect to the technology that they hold, but first mover advantage is really, really important. And for that, I feel that Bitcoin is king. Now, the next aspect is really simple, and that's that the amount of, how should I say, the amount of coins that are in circulation. This just refers to whether you have a finite supply and how much that finite supply is. Now, that's one of the biggest contributions to why I believe Bitcoin will appreciate in price over time. So Bitcoin only has about 21 million that will ever exist. That's it. And if you lose some Bitcoin, right, let's say you forgot your private key or you got it wiped on accident, or maybe you threw it away or left it in your pants. Now, if that were to happen, those coins are permanently lost. The total number of Bitcoin that's in circulation is just now lessened. And there are, for some reason, some people as well that would perhaps never sell their Bitcoin. I don't know. For that reason, you can kind of think they're collectors perhaps, and they just, they're taking those out of circulation as well, which is kind of better with regards to the amount of Bitcoin that's there. And so because there's less supply, generally speaking, the prices appreciate. Now, that's not the case with these altcoins. There's, from what I've seen, huge dilution that happens. Now, actually one of my best friends is very supportive of the Cardano technology, and I could see why. If you refer to one of the previous videos where I kind of compare the number of transactions per second and why I don't believe in Bitcoin, oddly enough, kind of counter to what this is going here. But you could see that Cardano is one that has 250 transactions per second. So that looks, very promising. However, once again, it doesn't have that first mover advantage. And number two, the number of coins in circulation is just outrageous. So let's go through them side by side. This is all something that can just be Google searched. So here you can see where I got my actual information. I just went ahead and placed it into this single text editor so that it's easier to visualize, but you're welcome to always check my sources. That I always strongly recommend. Don't ever trust me, right? Don't ever take my advice. Always, be skeptical. I always strongly encourage that, coming from a scientific background, I think that healthy skepticism is very important. So always, fact check, always just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just doing this for entertainment purposes. Hopefully you enjoy, but let's continue on. So with respect to Ethereum, there's 120 million in active circulation, and there's no limit as to how many will be generated or will be granted. So when you mine, you do receive some as a reward. Now, this may have to do a little bit with the fact that it's moving from would like to move from proof of work to proof of stake. So it makes sense that if you were to lose some, maybe if you were to validate, an invalid transaction or an invalid block, then in that case, you would lose some coins. But that's a pretty high circulation, 120 million relative to Bitcoin, which only has 21 million. That's roughly six times more, which makes sense that it would be less valued, or less valued than Bitcoin, because it has 6 times as many coins out in circulation. And once again, there's no limit cap for Ethereum, it's going to keep rising. And just for reference, actually for this, I will go to the website. You can see that from January, from January 2021, there was 113 million. And then in April, then it went to 100 and actually, no, I apologize. That's actually a little bit over a year. So this is something that I have to change. So this is why I always recommend fact checking me. So you can see from January 2021 to April 2022, actually that's about a year and 4 months, it increased by 7 million. Now that's huge, right? That's a third of the total number of Bitcoin that exists. So just to go back to say that when you have increasing numbers of coins in circulation, essentially you can think of that as a company diluting itself, right? Issuing more shares that are outstanding. And whenever you issue more shares, the stock price goes down, right? As long as the market cap stays the same, stock price goes down. There's more of it available. It's not a limited edition item. And so for that reason, I don't think it'll appreciate as much because there is no limit on it. The other factor is if you can't think of it in terms of dilution, you can think of it in terms of inflation. Why do some people want to go into Bitcoin? Well, it's because they believe that the current currencies that they have available, they keep getting inflated. Right, so you could think of governments printing more and more and more money. So people don't tend to like that because suddenly their dollar or their whatever their currency is suddenly has less purchasing power. You have to pay more of that currency in order to get that same goods or services. So whether you want to think of it in terms of dilution or inflation, just know that generally speaking, the more coins you put out there, the less valuable it's going to be. Now that we kind of got Ethereum out of the way, let's go into Dogecoin. Dogecoin, personally, so this is just my own personal opinions. I personally believe it's a scam. I would run away from Dogecoin. It has 133 billion coins in active circulation, and there's no limit. And each year there's going to be an additional 5 billion, I should say, 5 billion coins that are issued. So that's substantial. Dilution or inflation, and really there's no utility that I've looked into, so I don't see kind of the attraction to Dogecoin other than the fact that it's kind of funny, right? I will admit it's funny, but I wouldn't put my investments into it, but I would have a laugh at it. Now the next one is Cardano. Cardano is limited to 45 billion total that will ever exist. But in current circulation, there are 33 billion coins. Now that's huge. That's a pretty huge discrepancy between the 45 billion ever in comparison to Bitcoin, which has 21 million. So you can imagine if you have a collector's edition item, if there's only 10 of these items out in the world, they're probably going to be worth a lot more than if there were, for example, 200,000 of them, right? So the difference is pretty stark, 45 billion to 21 million. I'm sure we could do the math and kind of find out that the just how many more multiples it is. But that being said, it kind of speaks for itself. XRP, this is one that I've heard of recently, and once again, it has 45 billion issued, and it looks to have a total number of circulation of 100 billion in the future. So just the number of dilution, the amount of inflation that occurs with these coins is going to be substantial. I personally don't feel that they will have the market share that will make these valuable investments. And I feel that as they continue to mine or as they continue to issue more coins, its price will either stagnate or decrease. So that's kind of my viewpoint. That's not to say that some of these don't have value. I feel that Ethereum definitely has some use cases with respect to. I saw some video game development as well. They use Solidity to have decentralized applications. So that sounds really good. Cardano as well. I saw that they can perform a substantial number of transactions. I haven't looked really in depth into this technology, but there are some definite assets / use cases for it. But with respect to investing, I just think that Bitcoin is perhaps the the best coin to invest in from my personal view. Now, that's not to say that you should invest in it. This is not a recommendation for you to invest in it. I am not a financial advisor. Please do not, invest based off of my opinion. This is just for entertainment purposes only. I just wanted to get this opinion out there just because I wanted to kind of share why I'm a little spooked when I hear about altcoins, and it makes me a little hesitant. If you enjoyed the video, if you, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. Go ahead and drop them down below. And I'd love to, have a discussion with you about it. If you do have any comments, I'll go ahead and make a video and address that as well. And so we can have kind of like a nice back and forth about it. Now, that being said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you coming in here to watch these videos, and I hope to see you soon.